Cinema, much like the culinary arts, is often a battleground between the colossal spectacle of the blockbuster and the intimate, handcrafted integrity of the indie. In 2014, Jon Favreau, the man who arguably launched the modern Marvel Cinematic Universe with Iron Man, stepped away from the green screens and the $100 million budgets to pick up a chef's knife. The result was Chef, a film that is not merely a story about a man opening a food truck, but a profound, sensory-rich allegory for artistic reclamation, the complexities of fatherhood, and the healing power of a perfectly pressed Cubano sandwich. To understand Chef is to look past its deceptively simple plot and taste the complex flavors of its subtext, a movie that simmers with the heat of a kitchen and the rhythm of the road. The story introduces us to Karl Kasper, a chef of immense talent but dwindling spirit, trapped in the gilded cage of a prestigious Los Angeles restaurant. Kasper is a man vibrating with potential energy, a culinary artist who dreams of pushing boundaries with awful and bold flavors, yet he is shackled by the golden handcuffs of his boss, Riva. Riva, played with maddeningly pragmatic restraint by Dustin Hoffman, represents the safe, commercial establishment. He demands the hits, the tired, safe menu of scallops and chocolate lava cake that keeps the older, wealthy clientele comfortable. This is the film's first great conflict, the eternal war between the artist who wants to scream and the patron who simply wants to be fed. When Karl is forced to cook this antiquated menu for Ramsey Michel, the city's most influential food critic, the result is catastrophic. The review is not just bad, it is personal, visceral, and viral. It dismantles Karl's ego, calling him needy and his food irrelevant. Here, the film brilliantly utilizes the terrifying speed of social media as a narrative catalyst. Karl, a dinosaur in the digital age, misunderstands the mechanics of Twitter, accidentally inciting a public feud with the critic that culminates in a viral video of him screaming in the dining room. It is a moment of pure, unadulterated catharsis that costs him everything. He loses his job, his reputation, and his dignity. But in the ashes of his career, the true film begins. This is not a tragedy. It is an origin story of a different kind. Stripped of his kitchen, his staff, and his safety net, Karl is forced to return to the basics. The pivot point of the film is Miami. It is here, in the humid, vibrant atmosphere of Little Havana, that the movie shifts from a tense drama of repression to a jubilant road movie of expression. The visual palette changes, moving from the sterile whites and stainless steel of the LA kitchen to the saturated teals, oranges, and lush greens of Florida. Karl is reinvigorated by the food of the people, specifically, the Cubano sandwich. It is humble food, but in the film's philosophy, it is sacred. The scene where Karl tastes the roasted pork is filmed with the reverence usually reserved for religious experiences. It is the moment he remembers that food is not about pleasing a critic, it is about feeding the soul. With the help of his wealthy, eccentric ex-wife's ex-husband, played in a delightful cameo by Robert Downey Jr., Karl acquires a dilapidated food truck. This rusty metal box becomes the vessel for his salvation. The cleaning and restoration of the truck, which he names El Jefe, serves as the physical manifestation of Karl rebuilding his own life. He is joined by his young son, Percy, and his fiercely loyal sous chef, Martin, played with infectious charisma by John Leguizamo. Martin's decision to quit his stable job to follow Karl into the uncertainty of a food truck is a testament to the unspoken bond of the kitchen brigade. It highlights a central theme of the movie. True loyalty is born from a shared respect for the craft. The ensuing road trip from Miami to Los Angeles is the cinematic equivalent of a perfect tasting menu. The film refuses to introduce artificial, high-stakes drama. There are no villains chasing them, the truck does not explode, and they do not get robbed. Instead, the action is entirely internal and interpersonal. It is a journey of father and son finding a common language. Percy, a child of the digital age, initially seems alien to Karl, a man of the analog world. However, they find their bridge through the work. Karl does not coddle the boy. He treats him like a line cook. In one of the film's most pivotal monologues, after Percy serves a burnt sandwich to a customer because it's free, Karl stops him. He explains that he may not be a perfect father or husband, but he is a chef, and his food is the one thing he offers the world that is purely good. To serve bad food is to break a promise. It is a lesson in integrity that resonates far deeper than culinary school discipline. It is a lesson in self-respect. As El Jefe rolls through New Orleans and Austin, the film becomes a love letter to regional American cuisine. In New Orleans, they stop for beignets at Café du Monde, covered in powdered sugar, soaking in the jazz and the history. In Austin, they wait in line for Franklin barbecue, worshipping at the altar of slow-cooked brisket. These scenes are shot with a tactile intimacy. You can almost smell the yeast, the smoke, and the searing meat. Favreau, who directed and starred, ensures that the cooking scenes are technically unimpeachable. He trained with celebrity chef Roy Choi to master the knife skills and the kitchen movements, and it shows. The way Carl slices a brisket or drizzles oil is rhythmic, precise, and mesmerizing. This authenticity elevates the movie from a generic comedy to a piece of food anthropology. Crucially, the film redeems the role of social media. While Twitter destroyed Carl's career in the fine dining world, it becomes the engine of his success on the road. Percy documents their journey on Vine and Twitter, creating a narrative that people want to consume. He humanizes the chef. By the time the truck arrives in a new city, there are lines around the block. The technology that Carl feared becomes the tool that connects him directly to his audience, bypassing the gatekeepers like the critics and the restaurant owners. It is a commentary on the democratization of art in the 21st century. If you make something good and authentic, the people will find you. The soundtrack deserves its own recognition as a character in the film. Curated to match the geography of the journey, it moves from the salsa and boogaloo of Miami to the brass bands of New Orleans and the gritty blues of Texas. The music provides the heartbeat of the truck. It is joyous, energetic, and relentlessly optimistic. It reinforces the idea that cooking, when done with love, is a party. The camaraderie between Carl, Martin, and Percy is cemented not just by the peeling of potatoes, but by the shared rhythm of the music they listen to as the miles roll by. The climax of the film brings the story full circle back to Los Angeles, but the resolution subverts expectations. Ramsey Michel, the critic who started it all, returns. But rather than a confrontation, we get a reconciliation. Michel admits he was wrong, not about the old food, which was soulless, but about Carl. He recognizes that the food from the truck is Carl's true voice. In a gesture of immense grace, he offers to bankroll a restaurant where Carl can cook whatever he wants. It is a fairy tale ending, perhaps a bit too neat for the cynical viewer, but it feels earned. Carl has done the work. He has stripped away the ego, reconnected with his family, and rediscovered his passion. He deserves the win. Ultimately, Chef is a film about the creative process itself. It mirrors Jon Favreau's own career trajectory, stepping back from the machinery of massive studio films to make something personal, written, directed, and acted by him. It argues that bigger is not better. Better is better. Whether it is a blockbuster movie or a plate of food, the audience can taste the difference between something made by a committee and something made by a human being who cares. The lingering image of the film is not the accolades or the money, but the image of a father and son sitting on the back of a truck, eating a simple, perfectly constructed sandwich. It teaches us that happiness is not found in the approval of the masses, but in the integrity of the work and the people we share it with. It is a film that leaves you hungry, not just for food, but for a life lived with that kind of passion.